Hello, this is Grant Bresett talking to you about how to talk about the problem of evil and suffering. Well, I think there's two main areas of the problem of suffering when we have discussions with people, the emotional side and the intellectual side. And I definitely like to talk to you about the emotional side first. Well, these talking points are born out of a time in my life when I went through a lot of physical pain. I went for about a year where I could only sleep about an hour at a time. And psychologically, that almost crushed me. It was a long period of time. So these talking points are born out of that. Number one, when we face pain, it seems like there's something wrong. It just doesn't seem right. C.S. Lewis says pain is the megaphone of God, and I believe him. When I'm in pain, I say, okay, God, I'm listening. I don't know what's going on, but it makes me think. Number two, I've seen the alternatives. I've looked at the alternatives. As a former atheist, into the New Age, I was into Eastern mysticism. A lot of philosophies and religion don't accept the idea and the reality of real suffering. Christian Science, Eastern religions deny real suffering and that it exists and says it's more of an illusion. I just don't buy it. I don't think that's true. I think the Christian worldview explains pain and suffering, the fact that we left God and that He came after us. That leads me to my third point. We have a Savior that understands pain and suffering. That is an absolutely radical idea, a radical unique idea in Christianity, that God would suffer in our place. And last, we have the hope of heaven. If we go through pain and suffering, and we decide to get rid of Christianity and reject God, we're rejecting the very solution, the hope of heaven that He has for us in the end. Well, I trust the Christian God, and I think this whole issue really boils down to the question, will we trust the Christian God in the midst and the backdrop of all the pain and suffering that's in the world? I do. I trust Jesus Christ as Lord and Savior. I woke up to the fact that pain is real and there's something wrong. I looked at the alternatives. I looked to my Savior, Jesus Christ, and I have the hope of heaven. Do you? This has been Grant Bresett talking to you about the problem of pain and suffering.